One of the reasons I love talking about femme models on this show is that, they're hot. A lot of classic art hypersexualizes women. But women obviously aren't the only people being sexualized. This is my dog. And this is one of the most breathtakingly sexy sculptures I have ever seen. Donatello's David. Those feathers up the inside of his leg, those kill me. This sculpture was completed in the 1440s, and if you're thinking, wow, how could something so old be so hot? Wait until I tell you the model for this sculpture died in the year 130 in the Roman Empire. This is Antinous. Let's begin with David. Well, Donatello's David. I assume most of you already know the Bible story. When David is a boy, he kills a giant named Goliath with a sling. There, good. Donatello sculpted David in the 1440s, which makes him a Renaissance artist. The Renaissance denotes the period in the 15th and 16th century when Europeans were moving from the Dark Ages into modernity. And probably what you think of when you think of the Renaissance is Donatello, Raphael, Michelangelo, and Leonardo. Just kidding. Let's try that again. Donatello, Raphael, Michelangelo, and Leonardo. Anyway, Donatello's David was not really scandalous at all when he made it. Contemporary thinking about the sculpture, however, has been mostly along the lines of, wow, that's super gay. By the 16th century, a lot of folks were talking about those feathers up the leg I like so much. Speculation suggests a couple theories. One, Donatello was totally a homosexual. Two, we don't know if Donatello was a homosexual, but the normalcy of this statue suggests that homosexuality was not considered terribly taboo in 15th century Florence. Regardless, this statue has left a lot of people wondering if Donatello sculpted it from life. And the answer is, sorta. Donatello used ancient Roman busts to create his sculptures. So the face of beautiful David here, it was based on a real-life human being. Just a real-life human being who died over 1,000 years before Donatello sculpted it. Antinous was born in the year 111 in modern-day Turkey, and he was introduced to Emperor Hadrian in year 123. And he became Hadrian's favorite around 128. This is Hadrian. Zaddy. So Antinous and Hadrian toured the empire together, being lovers. Hadrian was married to a woman, but it was unhappy, and there's absolutely no evidence of Hadrian ever being sexually attracted to women at all. After 128, it was pretty much Hadrian and Antinous. And you get it, right? Look at him. Antinous was beautiful. So they traveled. They shared a love of hunting. Hadrian wrote that he found Antinous intelligent and wise. None of it survives today, but it is known that Hadrian used to write erotic poetry about his young male lovers. So the odds of their relationship not being sexual in nature are slim to none. Here's the really sad part. Antinous and Hadrian were on a journey up the Nile in the year 130 in October, around the celebration of Osiris, Egyptian lord of the underworld. And Antinous fell in the river and died, presumably from drowning, although gossip about his being intentionally killed started to circulate almost immediately. He was only 19. Emperor Hadrian was devastated, and the Egyptian priests immediately associate Antinous with Osiris. Antinous was most likely mummified, and then he was deified. That's right, he's not only beautiful, he's a god. Literally. He's literally a god. So Emperor Hadrian is heartbroken, or possibly guilty in the event that he killed his lover, and he organizes a cult around Antinous. Look, if you die and your boyfriend doesn't immediately turn you into a deity and worship you in a creepy cult for the rest of his life, then like, what are you even doing with him? So of course, the Romans and Egyptians sculpted Antinous several times. And then, over 1,000 years later, Donatello takes this ancient god and turns him into the Christian King David. So you see how the old religions transform into the new. I really have no light to shed on whether or not Donatello was a homosexual, but choosing Antinous feels like a clue.